Dim Lights and Stiff Drinks, the dive bars of Seattle. We are the podcast that takes a look at all the different dive bars, historic taverns, and interesting drinking establishments here in the local area. But we're not just talking about these places in the quiet confines of some home studio somewhere. Nope. We're actually visiting these places and recording each episode live on location. In this podcast, we visit the places where bad decisions and future regrets are made, so you don't have to. For this episode, we are here at the old Fifth Avenue Tavern, which is, which neighborhood is this? Is this
Maple Leaf.
Maple Leaf, that's what I thought. This is our first foray into Maple Leaf, right?
Yes.
We've never been here before?
No, hello, welcome Maple Leaf.
Welcome Maple Leaf, yeah. Yeah, definitely a cool place. I've been here before, but we were just talking. This is the first time for all you guys?
Yes,
First
time.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, before we get into the history of this place, I'd like to introduce the crew. Sitting across from me is the man himself, our producer, the man who makes everything tick, Bob Trombley. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, now doing good. Thanks, Brad.
And then, of course, my two co-hosts, Lou and Jeremy.
Heyo.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, and I'm really happy to be here tonight because I always like those episodes we do for those bars that I've driven by it a couple hundred times, but I've never gone in.
Yeah.
This is one of those for me.
This is one of you. Okay.
Yeah, this is an arterial cut for me to Northgate.
Okay.
And points north.
You know,
I've seen it a million times, but never came in.
I think I'm going with I'm rolling with MC Obscure.
MC Obscure.
Yeah, and
This is a reference to their top list.
Well, yeah, no
Well,
spoiler alerts, man. Come on.
We'll cover that on your
That's right.
segment.
We'll get back to that.
Mum's story.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty cool this weekend. I hung out with John Keister from Almost Live.
Whoa.
I was
Name
interviewing
drop.
him for a magazine profile I'm doing of him. But I'm bringing him
I was
up.
hanging out with Elon Musk yesterday.
I was hanging out with Bruce Springsteen.
Well, it was cool, though, because he knew about our podcast.
Whoa, he was
Yeah,
into
he
it.
mentioned. That's why I'm bringing him up, because he was like, yeah, you do that dive bar podcast. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, I
Give us
talked
a
a little
plug,
bit about
Keister.
it.
Did you talk to him about giving us the Keister
Well,
bump?
I think he might. I might try to get him on one of our episodes.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
lives in Seward Park, and there's a couple kind of divey places not too far from there.
Definitely.
So, and he's old school Seattle. He was born and raised in Seattle.
You can talk about
Right-
any of the
Yeah,
past
yeah.
bars.
So he knows his dives.
Maybe he could do a John report for Dim Light.
How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
How awesome would that be? So anyway, I thought you guys would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
Well, so like I said, we're here at the Fifth Avenue Tavern.
Old Fifth
The old
Avenue.
Fifth Avenue Tavern, thank you.
Which has all the trappings of a classic
Fifth
dive
Avenue
bar.
Tavern. Total trappings.
I even just took notice right now on the wall. It's like a mural down there, a la Little Red
Yeah.
Hen. Or,
Yeah, they have a little pool table room in there, and it's a wraparound mural.
Awesome.
That kind of gives this place its signature look. I was talking to the owner, Tara. Props to Tara for welcoming us in.
Thank you, Tara.
Owner and bartender this evening.
Owner and bartender. She's been running this place for about 20 years.
Not
And
just
she said the
owning,
mural
running
was
the
painted,
joint.
I think she said 27 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while. And then they have this really cool little display case at the front, right next to the front door, with all kinds of old Seattle Rainier baseball memorabilia,
It's
as
like a
well as a bunch of
tiny-
old Rainier beer stuff.
Like a tiny little miniature
Yeah, like a little
beer
shrine.
museum.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's like Pike Market, but
Yeah,
tiny.
like
Yeah,
Pike, like
there you
Pike
go.
Brewery, but like
Yeah.
one millionth of scale.
Yeah. Well, this place has been around for a while.
What's the number?
It first opened as Stewart's Tavern sometime in 1935-ish. So it's another one of those post-prohibition taverns
Nice.
that opened in the early to mid-30s. And like many other taverns from that period, it was busted for illegal slot machines in 1936.
Like any good bar was.
Like any good bar was.
How do you
any
hide a
respectable
slot
bar.
machine?
I don't think they were hiding it too well. I think that's why they maybe got caught.
Thus the busting.
Yeah.
Giant wall of slot machines. Don't look over there, officer.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bars like that. It became the Fifth Avenue Tavern sometime in the mid-1940s. And again, like any other tavern of its time, it was part of a big punchboard sweep in 1948. The Seattle police were going through, and they did like basically a one-day raid, and they just busted a bunch of places, including the Blue Moon and the Duchess.
I was
They were
going to
also
say,
raided.
Duchess was a
Yeah.
Yeah,
punchboard
I
one.
think we talked about
Caught
that.
up in the dragnet.
Yeah,
Dragnet.
Dragnet. And this was one of the bars that they also swept up in the punch boards. So, and it's funny because they have,
Tabs?
they got some pull tabs over there.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
The gambling tradition has never died here.
Yeah,
It was
it's never
slot
died here,
machines, then
exactly.
it was pinball, then it was punch boards, now it's pull
Now
tabs.
it's
We
pull
just
tabs,
changed
exactly.
flavors.
Yeah. In 1994, so we got a crime story here. A short-statured bandit that became known as the Short Bandit. He was approximately 5'6". He held up a string of taverns, including the Fifth Avenue Tavern.
Say his name again, I'm sorry.
Well,
Bob's
they called
throwing
him.
cash at me. I'm getting distracted.
They called him the Short Bandit. That was like the nickname they gave him. You know, any
Clever.
good bandit always gets a nickname.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't as PC back in the 90s, so they called him the Short Bandit.
The midget bandit. At
But
least
yeah,
they
he held up a
stopped short
string of
that.
taverns, including this tavern, the Little Red Hen tavern on Green Lake, and the Tin Hat Tavern in Ballard. Apparently his MO is he would walk into a tavern wearing a red devil face mask, holding a revolver, and demand everything in the cash register. He would then take the money and flee and drive away in a compact car. Again, kind of adding to his Short Bandit MO, you know. He was short stature, driving around in a compact car with a red devil face
Devil
mask.
mask and a revolver. That's a bit of
Yeah.
a power move. If you
That
ask
is kind
me.
of a flex, isn't it? That is kind of a flex. Apparently he held up a bunch of other places, a couple 7-Elevens and maybe like a drugstore, I believe. He actually shot and killed someone up in Everett.
Oh, damn.
As he was fleeing out the door of a tavern he held up, some guy was coming in at the wrong time, saw him as he took off his face mask, and so he killed the guy.
Wow.
Poor guy,
He didn't
wrong
want to be
place, wrong
identified.
time.
So he wasn't a nice guy. Never got caught, though. So the Short Bandit is still at large out there somewhere.
Wow.
Maybe he's listening.
What year was he running around again?
This was in the 90s. This was in 1994.
Oh, so he is still
He
alive.
could still
Yeah,
be.
He
Probably
could
still
be in
around.
the bar right now.
So be
Listening
wary
to us.
of any
Holy
5'6" man
shit.
you see in the
Yeah.
bar.
That's right.
The
Always
Short
be
Bandit.
suspect of vertically challenged people.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he probably made so much he's already retired down in Mexico.
Down
You
in
know,
Costa Rica.
Yeah. He's in Zihuatanejo.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about him anymore.
See,
But that's really about it. You know, this is one of those taverns, and we've been to a few of them, where it doesn't have like a really lengthy history. It's basically just kind of an unassuming neighborhood tavern that, like a lot of other drinking establishments its age, has had its share of robberies, gambling bust, and has served countless drinks to nearby patrons for almost 90 years. It's a very no-frills, humble bar with the usual assortment of beer signs, pull tabs, and a standard issue pool table. Like we talked about, it has that really cool mural in the back.
Yeah, you know, even without like some melodramatic history that we get into with all sorts of crazy like robberies and debaucheries and stuff like that, you're absolutely right, Brad. It's got the common themes that we all know and love with these dive bars. It's like, it doesn't matter how many times it's been robbed or busted or raided or whatever. It's got the trappings. It's got the stuff that we know and love and the reason
Yeah.
why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is just kind of like a quintessential dive bar. This is the epitome of what a small little dive bar is,
It kind of
right?
reminds me of the Pogies, but a mini version, almost a long bar.
Yeah.
You got the
Long
nice,
bar.
you got the nice wall with pull tabs. Not nearly as many, but there's pull tabs up there.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a good point. It's almost like the European style old school bar, long and narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like a little hallway, like a pub.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, you're right that there's a really cool kind of dive bar vibe going on, especially with the murals and everything. But there's also kind of a really homey, like neighborhood bar.
Very
kind
much
of
so.
Feel to it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think anyone's driving to get here.
No,
This
they're all
is a bar
walking.
you're walking home from,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I've been here for about the last half hour, and I've been watching people straggle in, and every time someone walks in,
The heads
most of the
turn.
heads turn, like, oh, hey, Bob, how's it going? So it's definitely one of those bars where they all know each other. It's all the regulars here for their
Absolutely
nightly
neighborhood
drinks.
hangout.
Yeah.
In the best way possible.
And what's really cool is like it's a Thursday night, so it's not Friday or Saturday, but I'd say the bar has 13 seats on it, and 12 of them are taken.
95% capacity.
Something tells me this is Thursday, Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a small, cozy joint. They did some COVID upgrades. There's 3 booths on the side, and they've got the plexiglass.
Nice, yeah. The plexi.
That'll stop the spread of COVID.
Do you think they put that up for COVID, or is
I'm
that
sure
been
they
there?
did.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Still around.
Let's
the 12 people
politicize.
sitting shoulder to shoulder at the bar, they're on their own. But if you're worried about it, you can get your mask on. You can
6
come
months
sit over
ago,
here.
there were plexiglass panels between everybody at the bar. I'm sure. Yeah. With duct tape holding them up.
Well, Lou, where are we? We're in Maple Leaf, but what exactly goes on in Maple Leaf?
We did say, right, this is the first Maple Leaf dive bar.
Yeah.
This
right?
is
Not
the Maple
first
Leaf dive bar.
U-ish district, U-district adjacent bar, but first, Maple
Our first
Leaf.
foyer in
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I don't know if we want to get into where we're at just yet, or this
All right.
episode will be over in a hurry.
Well, let's go ahead
know
and
what
do
I'm
what
saying?
you drinking, because there is some interesting
call.
things on tap, and I think Jeremy wants to talk about. So, Rue,
Let's do it. Yeah, so
hit us.
let's kick off with what you're drinking. We can do kind of the standard round table like we always do, but there's some pretty cool shit over at the bar that we need to talk about. So I'll kick it off here. What you drinking? I am drinking a hazy IPA by Old Schoolhouse Brewery in the Methow Valley over in Winthrop, Washington. If you've ever been there, beautiful, cute little mountain town. Awesome brewery there. Highly recommended. But
You've been there?
yeah, oh yeah, a
Nice.
number of times.
It's
Beautiful,
like
beautiful
up
little
by
town.
OMAC, right? It's kind of up there.
Over by Lake Wenatchee.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Go over to Leavenworth, keep going a little bit further, over to Lake Wenatchee, then do a U-turn, then get lost and go up into the Methow Valley, and it's beautiful up there, for sure. And the reason I call that out is awesome brewery and great beer, but not a lot of that type of obscure micro mid Washington brews on tap at the dive bar. So very, very cool to see that. Delicious beer. Hazy IPAs, all the rage right now.
Yep.
Schoolhouse does a really good one. How about you, Lou? What you drinking?
I think I might be drinking the same thing because
I don't know. Yours doesn't look quite as hazy as mine. I'm seeing a little bit of crystalness.
when I
Yeah?
asked her what was on tap, there's a tap handle that's got a really cool skull on it.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the skull. And she was like, oh, that's Modelo. I was like, oh, no skull. No skull. So,
Second choice.
Second choice, something more high octane. She's like, well, we got 2 IPAs, one hazy, one not. Which one do you want? I said hazy.
Interesting.
But let's.
No, yours is a little less hazy.
Is it? Maybe
Is
just
it? Or is it the
backwash
same?
it.
I'd say
Yeah,
so.
I don't know.
Here,
No, they
take,
do look
take a
different.
sip. Tell me if that's
Okay, hold on.
the same thing you're drinking.
That is different.
Oh,
That is different. Yep.
Should I go full Karen and be like, ma'am, I asked for the hazy?
Let me speak to your manager. I think we might need
am
to
the
circle back.
manager.
We might need to circle back and come back to that in part 2 after we get another round. Yeah. What you
Nice.
drinking, Brent? No, wait. Before you answer, I can tell you right now, it's not the Schoolhouse Hazy IPA, so you better not say that.
It is not.
Northern
good.
Mystery IPA.
Okay, good.
It's not even
Good.
IPA. No, and they have all kinds of cool Rainier beer memorabilia on the walls, signs. They got the display case. So in honor of that, I'm
Struck
drinking a
your
rain
fancy.
dog.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
What'd you call it?
A rain dog. Vitamin R.
Vitamin R, that's right,
Yeah.
I've
baby.
never heard that before. Rain dog.
Really?
That's another
Rain
word.
dog.
You never heard of rain dog?
No.
That is,
Your
I just made that
Seattle
up.
license
Just
is
made
being
it up.
revoked.
I know.
Yeah,
Just
go
made it
back
up right
to
now.
Nevada.
Yeah. Trademark registered.
That's right.
And on behalf of the table, Bob, I apologize. You do not have a drink in your hand.
no, but Jeremy, if I did, and I took a gander at the tap list,
Yeah.
I would probably go something a little more on the sour end.
Yeah, good segue. So that is an interesting point.
Yes, and we talked. So taps galore at the dive bar here. Not the most tap handles we've seen. That's might be reserved for some of the other joints, right? But a good selection of taps on. But some very cool things on tap that we're talking about. One, the handles. The tap handles, right?
Yeah.
So we got there's we got a Manny's. I can see a Manny's. We got a Coors Light. Okay, cool. We got the Rainier with the little classic R, a nice tap handles.
Rain dog.
But we've also got a bunch of tap handles that are on purposely obscured, right? So we got a skull, like you mentioned, Lou.
Right.
God knows what the hell that is. Is that you said it's a Modelo, right?
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that's not a standard Modelo tap handle. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like, somebody found that, it's like, this is cool as fuck. I'm going to stick it over here. I was like, what are we pouring now? Modelo? Okay, whatever. Right next to that, or actually two tap handles down, is a big black stick with no writing on it whatsoever. Like, what beer do you think that is?
It's the mystery beer.
It is the mystery beer.
Is that the one that's the
I think it is
the sour?
I think it's the Old Schoolhouse Hazy IPA. But again, not a standard tap handle
Yeah.
from Old,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Old Schoolhouse, this very, very small brewery. They probably don't have tons of tap handles that they're handing out to every goddamn bar who asks for it.
I think that's the
right?
one you have to sign the waiver for. I believe that's the
Yeah.
one.
Black Handle beer. Sign here for Black Handle beer. That's right. But in between those beers is something we haven't tried yet, and I'm tempted, maybe for round two, is a sour, right? Not a saison, but a true sour, which is interesting. This is the first dive beer we've been to that actually had a sour on tap.
Well, we've commented on the fact that we've never seen a sour before.
That's
And
right.
all this, so this is
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like spawning
So-
a unicorn.
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
Gotta tell you, pretty excited.
And in this place, of all places,
Exactly.
to have this
exactly.
Of all
kind of
places.
gourmet beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah. There's plenty of like snooty upscale bars you can go to. That, we have 5 sours and saisons and farmhouses, blah, blah, blah. You know, all the kind of shitty, snooty shit on tap that you expect in the Seattle area, but not in a dive bar. So,
Yeah.
But it does kind of tell you something, right? Like, sours are pretty popular right now. They're pretty hot. You're seeing them more and more in restaurants and bars. The fact that they're filtering and infiltrating us, our favorite dive bars, that tells you something.
Yeah, but
Well-
I'd say it kind of goes along hand in hand with dive bar culture because they're kind of low alcohol session beers.
Session
you can
style
sit and
beer.
have a few.
Yeah.
You know?
But it definitely is kind of an acquired taste too, right?
It is.
Like your typical bar fly is not going to be like, sour, delicious. No.
I admit, I'm
No,
not
they-
a fan of the sours.
Yeah, they're going to take
My
one sip
go-to
and be like,
beer.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's a beer festival beer. I need 4 ounces.
Now I'm good.
Now
yeah.
I'm good.
Well,
So,
so,
it's a little risky for a dive bar to
So
be
you're-
putting that on tap.
you're the beer expert. What is a sour? How would you define a sour? How are they made?
that's a good question.
You know,
Well, this might come as an absolute surprise to everybody, but the reason it's called a sour is because
It's sour.
it's kind of sour. Yeah. And it has to do with the way this is fermented, right? So there's different types of yeast that we use. There's like ale yeast and lager yeast, and it has to do with the way that the yeast, does its thing and eating the sugars and crapping out the alcohol and all this kind of fun stuff. There are sour style yeasts. They're typically an ale style yeast, top fermented, but the way that they produce the alcohol after they're crunching all the carbs and the sugars is they put out a lot of acids along with it. They give it that sour kind
Oh,
of,
okay, okay.
what they used to call a kettle style beer, right? That sour whatever. And the kind of cool thing about sours though is there's lots of different variety for sours. It used to be like sour, like, oh my god, this is sour as fuck,
So,
whatever.
for example, like a gauze or goes, would that be
Exactly.
a la-
European, great segue. So European style Goss or Gosse, or depending on how that fucking pronounce it, I don't know, right? Those style of beers came over from Europe, and Belgium was really popular with those style of beers. And they happened, historically, they happened by accident, right? Beers were fermented and they were delicious, and they sat in some cellar somewhere. And a couple of months later, somebody's like, "Oh my God, this turned sour. It tastes like shit." And somebody else was like, "Wait,
Makes you
Hey,
feel
there's
this
good.
is
gotta be
actually delicious."
There's got to be some yuppies we can sell this to. Tell them it's
Slap a label on it,
gourmet.
market the fuck out of it. That's right. So it's almost accidental, but that was like way back in like the 1300s or some crap like that. And it migrated its way over to the U.S. like a lot of European-style beers over into the microbreweries. Now we've got the Gosses, we've got like the sours. Started off with a lot of the farm-style ales, which we've had before in the dive bars. A lot of those are kind of sours or those air fermented, and they get a little bit of a sour funkiness to it. So.
More like a saison or saison kind of
Exactly.
tangentially
Yep,
related.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like sour adjacent styles for sure. Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
very popular right
interesting.
now.
I thought that they got the sour by just throwing a bunch of trolley sour gummy worms in the beer and letting it soak them up for a couple days.
You saw that on
Sometimes,
TikTok.
Yeah, sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
Those are delicious.
you've been drinking the wrong beers, Lou.
The fruit punch sour.
Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids, just throw a box in your beer, boom. Off to the races.
Hey now.
So I think one of us, maybe myself, got to do that sour for round 2, and then we'll talk about it.
Or why don't we sacrifice Mr. Logan to it? We got to tell everybody we have a very special guest here
That's right.
this week. Son of Jay Dizzle.
That's right. My son, Logan, is joining with us here for the first time on the podcast. Welcome, Logan.
Hello, hello.
All right. So
Jay Dizzle Jr.
not only is this my son, but there's it's some fun stuff to bring into the podcast here. Logan is freshly turns 21.
Nice.
Yes, I have.
What
Brand new.
what
Brand
month
new.
is your birthday?
What month?
Yeah.
January.
Oh.
And we are here in February,
Yeah.
so just a couple of weeks after 21st birthday.
Almost a month.
So, again, this might be shocking to all of our listeners and everybody here at the table. This is not Logan's first time at a bar. He actually has been to a bar prior to turning 21. I hope there's
Hello.
no police listening.
Hello.
Right?
Not affiliated with the podcast.
Statute of limitations already up on that.
Now I can't run for president.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're airing all his dirty laundry, man.
Political career is ruined.
Yeah.
That's okay. Bill Clinton smoked weed, but did inhale.
Allegedly.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Logan went to a bar but didn't drink. Isn't that right?
That's true. That's true. I did.
Went to
Never drank.
Never drank. Just went to a bar. Was actually dragged to a bar against his will and did not drink.
Well, what are you not drinking tonight, Logan?
Well, I can drink now. So I'm
Legally.
can drink now. I'm drinking the same thing that my dad is. So
That's right. Old schoolhouse hazy IPA because it's delicious.
Like father, like son.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm teaching him the skills and ways of the
way.
micros.
All right, so you want to go for round 2, and then we'll come back,
let's
and
do it.
Luke can tell us where we at.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about the grand history of the Maple Leaf neighborhood. I mean, we might have to do a separate
Should
pod
the
on
listeners
this,
buckle their seatbelts?
Yeah,
or
we
are
might
they
have to do
in
a
for
separate
ride?
pod. It's a two-parter.
Okay.
It's huge.
Episode of Maple and an episode of Leaf.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
All right, so if we're going to take a break, let's ask the house band, Satan's Pilgrims, to take us out.
Okay, well, we are back for round 2.
That's right, the aforementioned sour.
Yes.
We got a couple of those sitting at our table.
Is that what you got, Lou?
No, I got the beer that was supposed to be the
Old
beer I ordered the
Schoolhouse.
first round.
Hazy
Which
IPA.
is what? Refresh my memory.
The hazy.
You got the
Yeah,
hazy.
old schoolhouse hazy IPA.
Let me take a
Old
check.
schoolhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
I'm staring at
That's good
at a
hazy.
basket full of open pull tabs, and
Losers.
yet I don't
Losing
see
tickets.
any of them with some sort of winning indication on them whatsoever.
Yeah, this is kind of a big moment for us. Whenever there are pull tabs, we like to test lady luck.
And we always hit. I think this is the first
Always
time we
hit.
haven't.
Always
This is
hit.
the first time we have not walked out of here with thousands of dollars in cash.
man. No.
So,
That's because I'm here.
Yeah,
Aw.
thanks. Did you jinx us?
It's a learning experience for
yeah,
us.
Too young. Too young to be gambling. Too young. Too
yeah,
young
some
for pull tabs.
backstory. Logan went down to Vegas when he turned 21 and cleaned fucking house. So
That's right.
I did clean
Tell us how much you won in Vegas.
I won $200.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
First time gambling, first time winning. Let's go.
First time
Were you beaming with pride?
owning Vegas. That's right.
Got the room comped. Got some.
Did you get a tear in your eye when he
Meal
hit
comp.
nailed that
Rib.
jackpot? That's my son.
Chip off the old block.
They're like, comp that guy's room. Get him some free drinks. We're going to get that $200 back before he leaves town.
In one effing day in Vegas, Logan won more than I ever did in Vegas. So no. But I think Too Young for Pull Tabs is the name of my next rock song. So
I like it.
Yeah,
It's
from the
catchy.
band. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about beers on tap here at the old Fifth Avenue Tavern and the cool tap handles that they have, some of which are clearly not the right one for the beer and just a makeshift, like, you do whatever you need to do to get her done tap handles, which I absolutely appreciate. But also the fact that there is a sour on tap. First dive bar we've been to with sour on tap. Also, first dive bar, as far as I remember, with a varietal brewery on tap. Varietal out of the Yakima Valley. Great.
I think you're right.
Great, very small brewery out of Yakima.
Yeah.
First place that I think we've seen that micro on tap. Awesome. And my son Logan here. This is his first sour. So, what do you think of the varietal TPK sour on tap here at Fifth Avenue?
Hello. I actually
I just took a sip of Jeremy's beer.
doesn't like it. I actually think it's pretty good. I think it's like the perfect amount of sour. I think it's like it's got the kick. Brad doesn't like it either.
No, I'm not a fan of sours, and this just
don't
affirms
like
that.
So it's equivalent to a pumpkin beer for you two mofos. Is that what you're saying?
Not quite as bad as a pumpkin beer, but it's in the same ballpark.
Logan, it's obvious you have a refined palate, such as your father.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Like father, like son. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with my son here. I think it is delicious.
Okay.
It is the perfect balance of sours. Some sours are really ridiculously sour, and you're like, oh shit, this is clearly an acquired taste. I don't know if I like it or not, or whatever. You're like, whoa, shit. Right? But this is a very, very balanced for a sour. I think it's very delicious. I thought it was funny that you said it's a perfect balance of sour. How many fucking sours have you had in your entire life? Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
I mean,
Perfectly balanced.
I've eaten plenty of sour things before.
Okay, compared to a Sour Patch Kid, this is well balanced. Okay,
That's true. That's 100% true.
excellent. Yes, I would agree. I would completely
Well,
agree. I think it's delicious.
here's a question. So, a test of if it's really a good beer or not, would you buy a 6-pack of it?
You know,
Well,
this
not
I
to
would.
drink all at one
you?
night, but
This I would.
You would?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
And I'd even buy a tall boy of it. Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite the endorsement.
yeah, the sour thing is my earlier theory that they throw a bunch of Sour Patch Kids in there. You can
You're
kind of
still
taste
stuck on that.
A little
Sure.
bit.
Sure.
Well, it has that citric acidy kind of
Yeah,
taste to it.
that's it.
But I think you're right in the fact that Logan, you mentioned it's balanced, and Lou, you mentioned it's kind of like a Sour Patch Kid. There is a good sour has a little bit of sweetness in it to cut through that sour and give it that balanced flavor profile. I think.
Yeah.
Right. Some
So
people
it
are
is-
like, oh fuck it, I want all sour.
It
I'm
is
all
the
in.
sour dust at the bottom of the trolley bag, and you just pour it in the beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Come over to my house, listeners. I'll make you a sour like you've never had.
They take Rainier, dump the Sour Patch Kids powder into it, and call it a sour.
Now, here we go. Since we're in a bar, whiskey sour. Would you guys ever order a whiskey sour?
No, I do like a whiskey sour.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
hell yeah.
All right. Oddly
Yeah.
enough. I was just
You know,
curious how.
Interesting that you bring that up, Bob, because one of the things that the old Fifth Avenue Tavern is known for is their very good mixed drinks, which we don't really talk about a lot. I mean, we mentioned a couple of times
Yeah.
here
More of a true-
on the podcast,
Yeah.
They
I'd
have
say
like
more-
a craft cocktail menu here, or are we talking just like bean
no,
and Coke?
this is old school. It's like they do have a full bar, and they've got a good selection of bottles behind the bar, but it's fairly small, not a huge selection. It's not like they have like a massive top shelf with all those snooty bottles and expensive
No,
liquor
it's
shit
pretty
on the top.
standard, like Maker's
Pretty standard
Mark
fare.
and
Now, I wonder when
Jameson
this Fifth Avenue Tavern was converted to the full-service
Yeah,
liquor bar.
that's
as
Yeah, I
right.
don't
well.
know. That's a good question.
And Brad, you've told us before, like historically, a tavern is beer and wine only kind of joint.
Yeah.
But that's gone the way of history. This has this full bar, thank God.
Yeah. And then you basically get grandfathered in. If you were a tavern before you got the license and you get the license,
The name
the
sticks.
name sticks. Yeah. That's just.
This really feels like the kind of place you get a classic drink. You come here and you get like a martini
Or a highball.
whiskey sour, highball.
An
Exactly.
old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna
Manhattan.
You're not gonna go get some sort of like
An adios
smoothie slushy
MFer.
drink like with like
Well,
a sparkler put in top and.
they do serve food here proudly. The sign said Taco Tuesdays
I saw
are
that ad.
Yeah, I guess
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesdays
Or
are.
well
are
known
Shout out to
here.
Taco
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
50-cent tacos. I don't know if they're still 50 cent, but
I think the price has gone up a little, but they're still very economical.
50 Cent comes and has tacos.
and 50
Yeah.
cent comes up here and has tacos on Tuesday. And supposedly they're quite delicious. I saw some reviews, and a lot of people love to come here for Taco Tuesday night.
That's what I understand.
And she's serving them up, making them behind the bar for you, like making your drinks. So,
Kind of
yeah.
reminds me of Alki Tavern. They used to have Wimpy Burger Tuesdays for $1. You go there, the guy in the back, give him a couple bucks, he gives you a couple burgers, you dress them yourself. It was great.
Very nice.
It's the only thing better than good dive bar. Good dive bar with some tacos.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it also might be one of those bars. We should say the owner operator is doing the whole room by herself.
Oh yeah. This is
So-
a one-man operation.
It's a one-woman
Yeah, and
show.
it's pretty busy in here.
If you say
So,
I want
you
the
know,
beef tenderloin salad, it's going to be like, fuck. Can you wait till the crowd dies down?
to go back and shave the hog.
Yeah,
Pour out on that order.
yeah.
It says right on the menu, allow for extra time.
That's right.
Well, Lou, I am dying. We mentioned this is a Maple Leaf neighborhood. First dive bar in the Maple Leaf. We've done the broader area. We're kind of adjacent over to U District. But
Yeah.
I'm really curious to tell us about where we're at, man.
I don't know if we got time. What time is it? Because I don't know when you guys got to be home. We
Oh,
could talk
shit,
about
yeah.
Maple Leaf all night.
Oh,
Lou, the suspense is killing me. What's
All
going on,
right,
brother?
Maple Leaf. That's where we're at. It's another tweener neighborhood, little residential.
Yeah.
or
What do you mean, tweener?
tweener? It's mostly residential, little bit of commercial. So for most people, this is a neighborhood you cut through to get to somewhere else. It's a tweener neighborhood.
You're heading to Green Lake. You're heading to wherever.
Yeah, you're heading to Green Lake, you're heading to Lake City, you're heading to Northgate, you're heading to the U District.
Like Long Island,
Yeah, exactly. In fact, this
New Jersey.
this road we are on, Fifth Avenue, is actually one of the best shortcuts in town, and it's one of my secret shortcuts. And for our listener, you might not know this, but I own the road. Did you know this, Brad?
I did not know. You own the road, huh?
I own the road.
Okay.
Exactly. Which
I
is,
think you said that in episode 37, so everybody should know that.
I think they should. I'm the street rat, which is to say that while everybody else is stuck in traffic and waiting at street lights and honking at each other, I'm just cruising through town, breezing along. I'll get you a parking spot at Seattle Center when
Get
bumper
the
shoots
F
going on.
out of my way.
That's right.
So when you hit the pickup truck, that's going to be your line. I own this road. When the big guy comes
You
out,
didn't know you're talking to. Sweet Lou, dim lights. Yeah, exactly.
as he bounces your head off the windshield.
Let me know how that goes.
That's right. I got my secret parking spot at Pike Market, Bob.
right.
It's always
Nice.
waiting for me.
Nice.
VIP.
I tell you
It's
about
good to
that
know
one,
people. Good to know people.
but
is
it's not.
true.
It's that kind of party, and I like to keep my shortcuts to myself, but I let one slip last week
Hey now.
on the closest place to find reliable street parking
don't-
if you're
don't-
going to a
don't-
Huskies game.
Don't drop it on the podcast,
All right.
man.
I'm going to give you another tip this week. If I'm going to Northgate from the west side of Seattle, I don't slug it out on I-5. I sneak around Green Lake, I get on Fifth.
Yeah, rookie move.
Boom.
Yeah, rookie move.
Northgate takes just as much time, and it's a cool ride. You're going along the lake, you're going up Fifth.
But scenic.
Yeah, it's scenic, exactly. I used to do the reverse commute where I worked in Mount Lake Terrace, and so I was coming down to Seattle at 5 o'clock. So it's a reverse commute, which isn't as bad as everyone slugging it out coming north, but still, you always get that. A lot of times you get a backup at Northgate, and sometimes it goes all the way up to 145th. So I get off at 145th, cross the freeway, boom, Fifth Avenue all the way down to Green Lake, snake it to Wallingford.
Now, the day after this episode drops, Fifth Avenue is going to be clogged with
Oh,
traffic.
yeah.
People
You
are gonna
fucking
be like,
ruined it. Ruined it.
Who's this
Thanks a
Lou
lot.
asshole?
That's
damn
right. Let me give you an example. One night,
Used to be strategic. Now
was
it's just
like right
fucking
after-
common knowledge.
right after the Seahawks won their Super Bowl and Seahawks fever was in full blast,
Yes.
they had a Monday night football game in town. And leaving from work that night, it was a fucking nightmare. So I got off.
Don't say.
Next day at work, coworkers like, "Oh God, it took me over an hour to get to Green Lake. What has two thumbs and got home in a half hour?" This fucking guy.
We'd have FM Lou.
Well, you own the road, so
I
it
do own the
does make
road.
sense.
And it's not such a giant secret I'm giving out right now because the light rail construction has screwed some of that up.
Everybody knows you just take the light rail. Want to get there quick? Just take the light rail.
Life hack.
Yeah. That's right.
So yeah, aside from my road owning skills, what else is there to say about Maple Leaf?
Aside from Lou's low road rage, what is there
right.
to say about?
What is there to say other than it's between Northgate and Lake City and I-5 and Roosevelt? Not much, it turns out. That's
Our
kinda-
listener is going to be Googling maps and stuff, going, "Where the hell is he talking about? Wait, North Lake, Sweet Glen, whatever."
So yeah, why they called it Maple Leaf? Some say it's because there were maple trees that kind of grew in this area.
Yeah.
I thought it was for the syrup plant they have here.
There was no such thing,
No.
but I like
You just
where
made
you're
that
going
shit
with
up.
this.
No, no.
But that some say that it was called that because in 1894 it was considered so far north of downtown that it was closer to Canada.
Allah.
Okay.
They didn't have a good sense
That is dumb.
they didn't have a good sense of distance back
Everything
then.
was in perspective.
It's like it's
Yeah.
3 hours by horse and 6 hours if there's a Seahawks game.
So we're all the way in the Great White North.
They had no clue. Prior to 1954, the city only went up to 85th, but after that, Maple Leaf annexed and it went up to 145th. So 1854 is when Maple Leaf joined the party. As far as cool stuff here, you got the old Fifth Avenue Tavern.
Huh.
You got the Kona Kitchen
Right next door.
Right next door, yeah.
Great Hawaiian restaurant. We're going after the show. Might be going over there. Feel free to join us. Get a poo-poo platter, get some barbecue, get some
Watch your
macaroni salad. Shut your mouth. Another favorite, our favorite Chinese joint that's not in the ID is 2 blocks from here,
yeah.
Snappy Dragon.
That's
Oh,
right.
Snappy Dragon.
A Seattle Institute. Oh, excuse me, a Maple Leaf institution.
Maple
Yeah,
Leaf
I've
Institution.
Never been.
Yeah.
Oh, their noodles. It's all about the
Oh
noodles.
yeah,
there.
the homemade noodles.
Homemade noodles.
I think they never reinstituted the dining room. It's just takeout now after COVID. They
Oh, really?
realized we can still make as much money
Okay.
and not have to run a dining room. So if you're ordering there Friday or Saturday, it's an hour and a half for takeout. So it's that kind of party. It also has one of the coolest parks in town, the Maple Leaf Reservoir Park.
Is that the one you encountered the? Oh, no, that's a whole other story.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
that crazy
Another
lady.
episode. Yeah.
That's right. They got a water tower there. It's got a great playground, good views. It's
Whenever you go to a
huge.
party and encounter crazy cat ladies, you know it's a good park.
That's right.
That's right.
I used to come up to this park and fly my drone until said crazy lady came flying over and had a full-on bipolar meltdown on me. She thought I was like a Russian spy or a terrorist flying my drone.
It was your
Might
Karen
have
moment.
been. Yeah. That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
still to be determined.
Yeah.
She kept screaming that she lived right over there and had children, and her children weren't safe as long as I was flying my drone. I was like,
Well, she does make a good point.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
mean,
point.
you know.
Yeah, can't
children
argue
are-
with that.
Children aren't safe around the guy who owns the road.
Somebody please think of the children.
That's right. So yeah, what about you fellas? What's your why do you come to Maple Leaf?
Well, Snappy Dragon for sure. I mean,
Okay.
one of the
That's
one
my
of the
reason, too,
first
honestly.
restaurants I went to when I moved to Seattle was by recommendation of some locals. Like, oh, you want some Chinese? Good Chinese food? Go to Snappy Dragon.
Yeah.
So that great memories of, unfortunately, the dining room, which it sounds like is now closed, but lots of fun. So for sure. And right across the street from Snappy Dragon. Tell us.
Ace Hardware.
Absolutely, which is a pretty. I mean, it sounds kind of boring, but it's actually a pretty damn cool hardware store.
Oh, really? I've never been
I
in.
like Ace, yeah.
It's a
I just
great
park
hardware
there when I'm
store,
getting my
and
Snappy
it's been there forever.
J-Dog Ace is the place.
Damn straight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's and it's been there since like the 20s or something. It's been there a long damn time.
Yeah.
A hardware store. It wasn't always an Ace, but it was like a old school hardware store for many years, and then got converted to an Ace or whatever. It's pretty cool. Kind of another Seattle institution.
That's right. Right next to Snappy is also the Reservoir Bar and Grill.
That's right. Which
The
we
Res.
will definitely be hitting in a future episode, no doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Which
Great bar.
I have
Great
been
bar.
to once or twice.
Yeah?
More familiar with that than this joint. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it more of a grill or more of a bar?
It might be more of a get your ass kicked type bar.
All right.
Which means we're
So a sense of
definitely doing an
danger.
episode.
Yeah.
there. We're
Nice.
definitely
Yeah.
going there. Yeah, for
Nice.
sure. Yeah, for
Lou's
sure.
gonna bust through the doors. I own this road out here.
Yeah, that's right. And I brought my drone. Get the fuck out.
Putin's here to play.
Couple blocks up, Maple Leaf Bar and Grill, which is not a dive bar, but an awesome little pub and restaurant.
Never been there.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Right. And if you
Lots
need
of
some
good-
gas, there's a
lots of-
Chevron across the street.
Oh, thank God.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Lots of good. So to recap, we have good restaurants, good bars, good hardware stores, and good gas stations.
That's a great
that's
neighborhood.
What more can you ask
Yeah,
for?
what more could you possibly ask for? That's right. The schools, but that's okay.
And you don't even have to make it plural because I think we literally just listed every commercial business in Maple Leaf.
Yeah, I think you're
There's
right.
The hardware store, the restaurant, the bar,
I think we covered it all.
and the water tower.
There may or may not be a school and or a church in the neighborhood. We're not sure.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we'll find out later.
There you go.
Well, I'm getting hungry. I think
Yeah.
we're going to go next door and grab some food at the Kona Kitchen. So what do you guys say we knock this one on the head?
I would
Yeah.
say, first of all, shout out to Tara for
Yeah,
hosting us.
Definitely a big shout out to Tara. She is a one-woman show back there. She's the owner, bartender.
operator, running the whole damn
Yeah.
thing
Hold
here.
down the fort, yeah,
Yep.
with the smile on her face. So,
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And was very cool for letting us record here tonight. So thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Logan, for joining us. Great to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Regular recurring guest to the show,
More where that came from. Yeah.
Logan Dizzle. All right.
Yeah, you got to come up with a cool catchphrase.
Okay.
Yeah. Get back to us. Yeah.
Workshop it. Yeah, that's right.
All
Well,
right.
until next time, over and out.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Satan's
Like,
Pilgrims.
subscribe, and follow, and whatever the fuck you do with the TikTok. I don't know.
Yes, please like, subscribe, follow any.
You got to say smash the like button. You got to use the word smash.
Smash.
That like button.
Yeah.
Smash it.
Smash.
Hit the like button.
Hit it and smash it.
All right. Any
Ring that
support
bell.
for the show is much appreciated. Satan's Pilgrims, take us out.